he was a little fucking dangerous.
See here, I can get away with murder. Murder. I mean real murder. And that's what I'm getting ready to do.
We'll put XPW back on the map for a few months. But it ain't nothing that they did that be like, oh, that'll go down in history. Besides me throwing big Brian over the fucking scalp.
Paulie wanted me and Vic to go through a table, go through two tables. And I was cool with it. I wasn't cool with going through two tables because it was a hazard. It was a, to go through one table is easy, but to try to go through two, you don't know if the table gonna slip off the top table or what, and you don't know where you're gonna fall, where you're gonna land. So I didn't want to go through two. But he went on and said, well, Jack, just go through two and everything will be fine. So I was like, all right. We'll do that. So Vic Jazz, when I went and talked to him, he was like, I said, did you go and check the scaffold out? He was like, yeah, I went and checked it out. I said, is it okay? Because I was running late because it was snowing. And he was like, yeah, I checked it out and everything's fine, so we ought to be all right. I'm like, all right. So when it came time for us to go off the scaffold, we got up top, and Vic didn't want to go. And I was like, Vic, let's go on 3. And he was like, and then we having this conversation on pay-per-view, on TV live. You know what I mean? And he was like, Jack, I can't go, it's too high. I said, where we going? He said, I can't, it's too high. So I just pulled him down and he landed on top of me, and he did a flip and his back leaned up against my head and it slammed my head into the floor. And I cracked my skull.
So from that fall, you had a broken leg, a skull fracture,
Right,
brain damage,
right,
permanent insomnia,
right,
permanent blindness in your right eye.
right.
So you can't see out of your right eye at all?
No.
Okay. So you have this horrific fall. And how long were you in the hospital for?
Months.
Months. I guess there's memory loss and really bad headaches and everything else like that?
Yeah.
How mad were you when you basically woke up in the hospital?
I was pissed off, you know what I mean? I was pissed off, you know? And then it went a time, he didn't call me to see how I was doing or nothing. The mother let me sit there, you know? And I was sitting at home in the dark, you know what I mean? And when I went back to ECW, I walked to Vic and I punched him in the goddamn face, you know? And I was like, you know, because I was pissed, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. What was that first reaction when you guys came face to face after that situation? I mean, apart from the face punching.
He was like, Jay, I didn't mean to do it. I'm sorry, I apologize, I didn't mean to do it. You know what I mean? But he had went for months and he didn't even call me. He never got in touch with me. And I was upset about it.
Okay. Was that the worst injury you'd ever had in your life?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So then in February 2002, you and Grimes have a rematch.
Right.
And you guys decide to jump off of a 40-foot scaffolding.
Yeah.
Okay. Before this, what was the highest jump you've ever done?
35 feet.
35 feet. Okay. Is this considered completely unusual in the wrestling world, or do people do this on a regular basis?
Nobody ever did it. I got the highest jump on record to this day, 35 feet.
35 feet.
But with this scaffold, I threw Vic off of the scaffold, it was 40 feet.
Okay. Now explain to someone who really doesn't know too much about this how a human being literally falls off 35 to 40 feet into a bunch of tables and walks away.
He was lucky.
Bro, no, I'm saying like on a tip, not that particular match, because I want to get into that, but on a typical match, you're talking about jumping, I mean, even 15 feet is pretty damn high, but you're talking about 15, 20, 30, 35 feet. You fall and what, the tables break your fall?
Well, he was supposed to fall through the table, but I threw him past the table. So he just clipped one. He barely hit one table, and he fell and he landed on the ropes.
Okay,
and that's what broke his fall.
In that particular situation with the 40-foot drop, there were 12 tables stacked on top of each other. So the idea was he fell on the first one, they would all kind of collapse and break the fall?
That's what was supposed to happen. But it didn't happen because I threw him over the table.
Okay, was that in retaliation for what he did?
Yeah.
Okay. And had he fell a little bit over, he would have been dead.
Yeah.
Okay. Were you trying to kill him?
Yeah.
Okay. Was he just totally terrified when you pushed him off at that point?
He was like, Jack, I can't feel my legs. So I had a stun gun I bought. I went and bought a stun gun. So we was up on the scaffold. I started tasing him. And he was like, Jack, I can't feel my leg. I said, you ain't gonna need them. And I threw him. Like, bombs away. And the motherfucker hit the table. He clipped the table, and then he hit the rope and fell back in the ring.
Okay, and I guess he ultimately didn't really hurt himself that much. I guess he dislocated his ankle and a couple other small injuries, but falling off 40 feet, like literally being thrown 40 feet off the air, I mean, that's just the act of God right there, the fact that he's not dead or seriously crippled.
Yeah.
Okay, and was that the biggest fall in wrestling history?
Yeah.
40 feet.
Yep.
Okay. When you're standing up there and you look down 35, 40 feet, what actually gets you to do that slam or that jump at that point?
I mean, we had planned it, so he knew he was going. He just didn't know where he was gonna land. And I threw him, and he landed, like I said, he clipped one table, and he hit the rope to fell back in the ring. You know what I mean? But I didn't give a where he landed. I wanted to die.
Okay. What was the conversation like afterwards?
There wasn't one. There wasn't one.
So that was it. Basically, after that, you never spoke again.
Nope.
Should I be using that weapon? Oh no! No! Please no!
We want to thank you all for coming. We're going to need to clear the building, call an ambulance, and we're going to need to keep the area secure. Big Ron is going to need medical attention, please. Let's clear.
We having this conversation 20 feet above the floor. I said, Vic, on 3. 1, 2, 3. And I pulled him, he pulled back. I pulled him down on top of me, and I hit that first table, and he did his flip, and he caught up with me. And his back ended up against my head, and it slammed my head against the floor, and it cracked my skull, and I had brain fluid coming out my nose and my ear. I got nerve damage in my red eye. And I can't see out of my red eye right now. And I would never be able to see out of my red eye again in my life. And I have short term, my memory is about 2 or 3 days old. And I get headaches. And sometimes my eyes get like bloodshot like they are now. For no reason. Then I go 3 or 4 days and I don't sleep. Hey, but that's part of New Jack being New Jack. That's why I tell some people, bro, I said, when I lay down and die, I'll probably be fucking happy. Because I ain't gotta suffer through this bullshit no more. And I ain't never asked no pity party for nobody. I ain't asked no sympathy from nobody. But I done tore my body up so goddamn bad for these fucking fans. It's like, when I ain't gotta feel this shit no more, I'll be glad. And that night, it changed me. It took a lot out of me. And I don't play games with myself. I ain't been the same since that night. Vic didn't hurt me, I hurt me. But I allowed that cocksucker to be a part of it. And when I was able to see when I came back, the first thing I did was walk in Buffalo, New York and smack Vic right in his fucking eye. And I was ready to fight him. I couldn't even hardly see him. Because he was telling people at one point, yeah, you saw me hurt New Jack. No, you didn't hurt me, Vic. I hurt me. And then with the XPW, and I threw his ass over a 40-foot scalpel. I had a stun gun with 350 volts in it, and we 40 feet up in the air, and I took it and I shot him in the fucking neck about 4 or 5 times, 8, and then I threw him, and he said, Drake, I can't feel my legs. I said, don't worry about your legs, Vic, I got you. But he had stacked 12 tables up in the ring. He touched 1. Vic over them tables. I was trying to throw him, I wanted him to land on a post, the turnbuckle post. I was hoping that he landed head first on top of that pole. But they had moved the scaffold back about another 5 feet before he died. I ain't got no love for Vic, because he's a fucking idiot.